My darling Leo, I see you. I see what you have been carrying. I see the version of you that has been quietly aware, for years, that the partnerships in your life are not what they were when you began them, and not what you actually want them to be now. I see the marriage that has become roommate territory, the dating life that has become exhausting, the relationship pattern that keeps producing the same disappointment in different faces, the version of partnership you were sold as a younger person that no longer fits the version of you that has emerged through everything you have lived. I want to start this video by telling you something specific that almost no astrologer will tell you. Pluto entered your 7th house, your partnership house, your marriage house, your one-on-one relationships house. In February of 2024, Pluto sits there for nearly 20 years until 2044. This is the most significant partnership transit of your lifetime, my darling. Pluto is restructuring how Leos do partnership at the deepest possible level. The marriages that cannot evolve will end. The new relationships that will define the next 20 years are arriving, sometimes through demolition of what was before, sometimes through reconfiguration of what is, sometimes through love that does not look like what you imagined. And on June 30th, your Jupiter return begins, the most expansive year of your decade. For your love life specifically, this means 13 months of magnetism the universe has not given you in 12 years. June is the month all of this aligns. Stay with me. What I am about to share will reshape how you walk through the most consequential year of your love life. I am Madame Aurora, 35 years studying the stars from my office in Manhattan. And I want to be honest with you, my dear Leo, because honesty about love is the only thing your sign actually wants. Leo has a particular love wound that almost no one talks about. You have been told, since you were small, that you light up the room, that you are the warm one, the magnetic one, the one people are drawn to. You learned somewhere along the way that being adored was love, that being wanted was being seen. And the cost of this pattern is that the people who have loved you most have often loved an image of you, the radiant Leo, the generous Leo, the one who makes everyone feel special, while the version of you that doubts, that hurts, that needs to be held without performing. That Leo has rarely been allowed to come forward. The Pluto transit in your 7th house is asking you to let the unperformed Leo into your closest relationships, to stop trading on charisma for connection, to let yourself be known instead of being adored. The Jupiter return year is the universe's gift of magnetism for 13 months. The discipline of the year is to use the magnetism to attract partners who can love the actual you, not the performance you have done your whole life. June is the bridge into this work. Before I take you any further, I want to acknowledge something. Leo is the most misunderstood sign when it comes to vulnerability in love. The world sees you as confident, magnetic, sometimes dramatic. The world rarely sees the very particular ways Leos protect themselves through performance. Many Leos have learned, by their 40s or 50s, that the way to keep love is to keep performing the version of yourself that first attracted the partner, the generosity that has become exhausting, the lightness that costs more than anyone knows, the willingness to be the entertaining one, the warm one, the one who makes everything better. Underneath this performance, many Leos carry years of unspoken loneliness, in marriages, in friendships, in dating lives. The Pluto in 7th house transit, over 20 years, is the universe's intervention. The next 2 decades will not let you continue performing love. They will ask you to be genuine, even when genuine is uncomfortable, even when genuine threatens to end relationships that were built on performance, even when genuine reveals you to be smaller than the version of yourself you have been presenting. But first, let me tell you about Eleanor. Eleanor is a Leo client of mine from Manhattan, born in late July, who came to me in spring of 2024, just after Pluto entered her 7th house. Eleanor was 58 then. She had been married for 29 years to a man who loved her deeply, and who had only ever seen the radiant version of her. She had 3 grown children. She had a successful career as a gallery owner. She had a beautiful home, a beautiful life, a beautiful marriage that everyone around her admired. And she came to me one afternoon and said, "Aurora, I do not understand what is happening to me. My husband and I have everything anyone could want, and I have started crying in the shower, for reasons I cannot name. I think about leaving him and I do not know why. We have not fought. He has done nothing wrong. What is wrong with me? I looked at her chart and I said, Eleanor, my darling, Pluto just entered your 7th house. Pluto is the planet of buried truth surfacing. The next 20 years will not let you continue performing the marriage you have built. The crying in the shower is not depression. It is the part of you that has not been allowed in the marriage finally trying to come into the room. You have spent 29 years being the radiant wife, the version of you that doubts, that has had its own sadness, that has needed things you have not asked for, that is now in a different phase of life than the woman your husband first married. That version of you has been waiting outside the marriage for almost 3 decades. Pluto is opening the door. You have 2 choices. You can invite her into marriage and renegotiate everything with your husband from a foundation of honesty. He may not be able to receive her. He may. You will not know until you try. Or you can keep her outside the marriage, and the marriage will quietly hollow out from the inside until something forces the issue. Illness, infidelity, financial crisis. The Pluto transit will not let the marriage continue as performance. It will demand to know. She chose to try. She had a series of difficult conversations with her husband over the next year. She told him she had been performing a version of herself for almost 3 decades. She told him she did not know if he could love the unperformed version. He surprised her. He told her he had felt the distance for years and not been able to name it. He had been performing too. The man who could keep up with her radiance. They began couples therapy. They began to know each other in a new way. The marriage transformed. It became for the first time what they had thought it always was. She told me last winter that the years of Pluto in her 7th house have been the most painful and most rewarding years of her marriage, and that she now understands her husband in a way she did not in 29 years before. The same kind of work is being asked of you now, my dear Leo, in whatever form your love life is currently taking. June is one of the most important months in the early phase of the Pluto transit. Now, before I take you any further, my darling, I want to pause for just a moment. If what I am sharing is landing for you, if Eleanor's story made you recognize something in yourself, even for a second, tap that little like button just below this video. It is a tiny gesture, but it tells YouTube to bring this kind of guidance to more Leo souls who have been quietly aware that something is not what it should be in their partnerships. So many Leos are at this exact moment. Beautiful lives, accomplished partnerships, and a growing inner knowing that something has to change, and looking for guidance that does not lecture them. Your like helps them find this video, and if you are not yet subscribed, this is the moment. June is the bridge to August 12th, and that eclipse on Jupiter in your sign will be one of the most personally magnetic days of your decade for your love life. Subscribe and turn on the bell so you do not miss the July love video or the August eclipse love forecast. Now let me show you what is actually happening in your chart this June, specifically for your love life. Here is what each major June transit means for your love life, my darling. The Sagittarius full moon on June 1st in your 5th house. Leo's natural love and romance house is the first major love event of the month. This is your annual romance and creativity full moon. It happens once a year, and it is the moment your own romantic and creative life crystallizes most clearly. For partnered Leos, the 5th house full moon often brings the relationship's romantic dimension to a peak. A memorable moment of pleasure or play. A creative project undertaken together that resolves. A child-related matter for those of you who are parents. For single Leos, the 5th house full moon often surfaces strong romantic feeling. Sometimes about an existing crush. Sometimes about a person from your past. Sometimes simply about the romantic life you have not been fully living. Things to do. Say yes to romantic gestures in the first week. Allow yourself to be playful. Express creatively if it has been a while. Things not to do. Do not pick a fight with a partner on June 1st. The Sagittarius moon is square Saturn and Neptune in your 9th house, and arguments under that aspect involve meaning and worldview compatibility that takes weeks to repair. Now let me get specific about the most important love day of the first half of your month, June 9th. The Venus-Jupiter conjunction at 25 degrees of Cancer in your 12th house. The 12th house, in love astrology, governs hidden love, soulmate connections, karmic relationships, behind-the-scenes romance, secret connections, dream states of love, and the kind of intuitive recognition that transcends ordinary dating dynamics. Venus-Jupiter in your 12th house on June 9th is one of the most powerful single days of your year for soul-level love work. What does this look like for you specifically, my darling? For Leos in established partnerships, June 9th often brings a profound recognition, a moment of seeing your partner as you have not seen them in years, a conversation that goes to a depth you have not reached together before, an intimate experience that feels like remembering who you have been together at a soul level. For Leos who have been in inner work or therapy about love, June 9th often brings the moment a piece of old material releases. A forgiveness that has been waiting, an integration that finally completes, a recognition about a past relationship that frees you. For Leos who have been single and quietly hoping for a soul-level connection, June 9th often brings an unexpected encounter. Possibly through a non-normal channel like spiritual community, healing work, an inner work group, or a context where ordinary dating dynamics do not apply. For Leos who have been carrying a karmic connection, a person you cannot stop thinking about, an old flame, a soulmate who has not been available, June 9th often brings clarity about whether to release the connection or to give it space to develop in a different way. The universe is dressing your hidden love life in gold for one afternoon. Use it with intention. But here is what I have to tell you, because I would not be an honest astrologer if I did not. June 9th is also the last full bloom of Jupiter in your 12th house. The transit has been doing soul-level love work for the past year, surfacing old material, sending you karmic encounters, deepening the spiritual dimension of your relationship if you are partnered, preparing you to attract a soul-level partner if you are single. The window closes on June 29th. So whatever 12th house love matter has been pending, claim it, complete it, integrate it before the end of the month. After June 29th, your love story moves from the hidden dimension into your own body, your own magnetism, your own personal sphere. Wait, before I continue, I need to interrupt myself, because there is something happening just a few days after June 9th that affects your love life in ways most astrologers will not mention. On June 14th, at 10:54 in the evening Eastern Time, a new moon perfects at 24 degrees of Gemini in your 11th house of friendships, groups, communities, networks, and platonic becoming romantic connections. New moons in your 11th house begin friendship chapters. But this one, combined with Uranus, which entered Gemini, and your 11th house only 7 weeks earlier, has love implications that are critical for Leo. Uranus in your 11th house for 7 years is doing something specific to your love life. The 11th house, for Leo specifically, is the house of friend-to-lover transitions, online dating, community-mediated romance, and the unexpected connections that arrive through groups or social platforms. Uranus in this house for 7 years means love is going to arrive, and sometimes depart, in unexpected ways, often through your network, often suddenly, often through people who appeared in your life initially as friends or community connections. For partnered Leos, Uranus in your 11th house may bring sudden new friendships that test or transform the existing partnership. For single Leos, the partner who arrives in the next 7 years is more likely to come through a friend, a community, a network, or an online platform than through traditional romantic channels. The new moon on June 14th is the first major lunar event activating this new Uranus transit. So this new moon, my darling, is not just any new moon. It is the moment the friendship and network love chapter under Uranus begins to take real shape. For some of you, June 14th brings the beginning of a meaningful new friendship that will reshape your love life. Possibly platonic at first, possibly becoming something more later. For some, June 14th brings the activation of an online dating profile or community-based dating effort that pays off in the months ahead. For some, an existing friendship suddenly reveals a deeper dimension on or around June 14th. And there is one more thing about the June 14th new moon. It is squared by Saturn's and Neptune in your 9th house, which means the new friendship and network love chapter that begins in mid-June is connected to the meaning and worldview work. Saturn and Neptune are demanding all year. Many Leos will find that the new friendships and potential partners that emerge in this period are connected to your philosophical, spiritual, educational, or international interests. Not random additions to your life, but people who share or expand your worldview. 3 days after the new moon, on June 17th, Mars leaves Taurus and enters Gemini. Mars in your 11th house for the next 8 weeks until August 11th intensifies friendship and community energy. For your love life, this means active social engagement, increased dating effort if you are single, and increased social couples activity if you are partnered. Use the Mars transit to build the network of friendships that may become love. Attend the gatherings, accept the invitations, send the messages. Mars in the 11th house through August 11th is the action window for love through community channels. Pause for just one moment, my darling. I know this is a lot. I have been putting hours into this video, researching not just the transits but the specific love implications of the Pluto in 7th house generational partnership transformation, the Jupiter return year about to begin, the Saturn-Neptune meaning-based love work, and the Uranus friendship-to-lover revolution, because you deserve real guidance, not generic love horoscopes. If this is bringing you value, would you do me 3 small things? Like this video. It tells YouTube this matters. Subscribe and turn on the bell if you have not yet. July's love video will cover the first month of Jupiter in your sign physically and the early days of magnetism activation, and August's will cover the eclipse on Jupiter love forecast, the most personally magnetic day of your decade. You absolutely cannot miss the love preparation series. And write to me in the comments. Even one sentence. Other Leos in this comment section are reading and recognizing themselves. We are becoming a community now, thousands of Leos all walking through the same partnership generational shift together. Come be part of it. Now let me continue. Now comes one of the most important love transits of your decade for the long term, my darling. June 19th, Chiron, the wounded healer, enters Taurus and your 10th house of career, public reputation, authority, and the way the world sees you. For 7 years, until April of 2033, Chiron will sit in your 10th house healing wounds about how partnership intersects with your public life and your career. I want to slow down here because the 10th house Chiron has very specific love implications for Leo. Many Leos carry wounds about how partnership has affected, or been affected by, your career and public reputation. Some have stayed in marriages that supported your career while quietly being unhappy in them. Some have hidden the depth of your professional ambition from partners who could not handle it. Some have hidden the depth of your professional struggles from partners you wanted to impress. Some have ended relationships because they conflicted with career trajectories. Some carry old wounds from a relationship that ended because of a career move, yours or theirs. Some carry wounds about being seen publicly as one half of a couple that did not reflect your true self. Chiron, in your 10th house for 7 years, slowly, will surface these patterns and heal them. Not in a month, over years. But June 19th is the day this work begins. Pay attention to what arises about career, public reputation, and partnership in the second half of June. You may find old material surfacing about a past relationship that ended because of career. You may find yourself reconsidering how a current partnership has shaped your public life, or vice versa. You may notice the unconscious ways you have been managing the visibility of your partnerships to protect your career or your image. Then, on June 29th, 2 enormous things happen on the same day. Mercury stations retrograde at 26 degrees of Cancer, in your 12th house, and Jupiter leaves Cancer and walks into Leo, your sign, beginning your Jupiter return. 2 major transit events on the same day, my darling. June 29th is the love portal of your year. I want to slow down here because Jupiter in your first house, for love, has specific implications most astrologers do not address. Jupiter in your sign expands your visibility, your physical magnetism, your personal radiance, and the way the world responds to you walking into rooms. For Leo specifically, because you are governed by the sun, and you are already the sign most associated with personal magnetism, the Jupiter return effect on your love life is amplified. For 13 months, you become more attractive in ways that go beyond your usual charisma. People look at you differently. The dating pool changes. Existing partners may suddenly see you in a new way, sometimes welcomed, sometimes threatening to the partnership structure that was built around the previous version of you. For partnered Leos, the Jupiter return year requires care with the partnership. Your increased magnetism may bring new attention from outside the relationship. The work is to channel the magnetism toward your existing partner, letting them see the version of you that is emerging, letting them be the recipient of your renewed visibility. rather than letting the magnetism feed extramarital validation. The Leos who use their Jupiter return year to revitalize existing partnerships often emerge with marriages strengthened in ways they did not imagine possible. The Leos who use it for extramarital attention often damage relationships that were salvageable. For single souls, the Jupiter return year is the most magnetic year of your decade for attracting partnership. Many of you will meet significant partners in the next 13 months. The August 12th eclipse on Jupiter in your sign will be a major partner arrival window. But here is the discernment the Pluto transit in your 7th house is demanding. Choose carefully. The Jupiter return makes you attractive to many. The Pluto transit is asking you to partner with someone who can do depth with you over the long haul, not someone who is dazzled by your surface. The Leos who use the Jupiter return for collecting validation often end the year with multiple dates and no lasting connection. The Leos who use it to allow themselves to be deeply known by one or two people who can do the work end the year potentially in a partnership that will define their next 20 years. The Mercury retrograde context, my darling. Mercury stations retrograde in your 12th house, the same house Jupiter is leaving. So as Jupiter walks out of your hidden love house and into your visible body, Mercury asks you to look back at the 12th house once more. Old partners may resurface. Old soul-level material may demand revisiting. Karmic connections you thought were resolved may briefly return for final clarity. Mercury retrograde in your 12th house from June 29th through July 23rd is the universe's way of making sure the soul-level love work is properly complete before the visible magnetism year fully begins. Do not commit to a new partnership during the retrograde. Do not formalize a major relationship decision. Wait until late July when Mercury is direct. The Capricorn full moon on June 30th at 14 degrees in your 6th house of daily work, health, and routine brings practical life and love matters to a peak. A daily life shared decision with a partner comes to clarity. A health matter affecting your partnership reaches a turning point. A coworker romantic situation, if relevant, resolves. The 6th house full moon, combined with the Mercury retrograde and Jupiter ingress just hours before, makes the final week of June one of the most concentrated love weeks of your year. Sleep extra, honor what surfaces. I want to stop for a moment, my darling, because I know I have been giving you a lot. Let me make it simple. 3 love priorities for June. First, complete the soul-level love work the 12th house Jupiter has been doing. Whatever karmic clarity, old material, or soul recognition has been pending, attend to it before June 29th. Forgive what needs forgiving. Release what needs releasing. Recognize what needs recognizing. Second, begin to allow your unperformed self into your closest relationship. If partnered, this means a difficult conversation that reveals you to your partner more honestly. If single, this means engaging the dating world from your unperformed self rather than from the radiant Leo image. Third, use the Jupiter return year deliberately. Decide what you want from your love life in the next 13 months. Be specific. Then walk into the year holding that intention. Things to do. Schedule the conversation. Send the message you have been postponing. Take the inner work step that has been waiting. Things not to do. Do not begin a new relationship on June 29th or 30th. Do not formalize a major partnership commitment. Wait until late July. Let me give you the week-by-week love breakdown briefly. First week, June 1st through 7th. Romance peaks under the Sagittarius full moon in your natural love house. Allow yourself pleasure, play, creative expression. Mars is in Taurus through the 17th, sitting in your 10th house. Career stress on partnership pressure. Second week, June 8th through 14th. June 9th is the soul-level love peak. Last full bloom of Jupiter in your 12th house. Complete the inner work. The new moon on the 14th begins your friendship becoming love chapter under Uranus. Third week, June 15th through 21st. Mars enters your 11th house on the 17th, intensifying social and community love energy. Chiron enters your 10th house on the 19th. Career partnership wounds begin to surface for long healing. Fourth week, June 22nd through 30th. The portal week. June 29th, Mercury retrograde in your 12th house. Jupiter return begins. June 30th, full moon in your 6th house. Practical life love matters resolve. What to do? By the end of June, have your soul level work complete and your intention for the Jupiter return year set. What not to do. Do not begin new relationships, formalize major partnerships, or make significant love decisions on June 29th or 30th. Wait until late July. But before I move to specific love forecasts, I need to interrupt myself one more time and tell you something specific about the shadow side of the Pluto in 7th house, combined with the Jupiter return year, because I would not be honest with you if I did not name it. Let me tell you about Patricia. Patricia was a Leo client of mine from Los Angeles, born in late July. She came to see me in summer of 2014, just as her previous Jupiter return was beginning. Patricia was 48 then. She had been married for 19 years to a kind, steady man. The marriage was not unhappy, but it had become quiet. As Jupiter entered her sign, the magnetism shifted in her, and a younger colleague at her firm began paying attention to her in ways her husband no longer did. The colleague was attentive, charismatic, available. Within 4 months, Patricia was having an emotional affair. Within 7, it had become physical. By the time her Jupiter return ended in autumn of 2015, she had divorced her husband. By the time the affair partner finally left his own marriage in 2017 and proposed to her, she had spent 2 years Holkrishmers as Norsemas secret weight, hurting her children and damaging her relationships with most of her friends and family. She came back to see me in 2018 and said, "Aurora, the affair partner, and I are married now. We are very happy." But I look back at my Jupiter return year, and I see that I used Jupiter for validation rather than honest reconfiguration. If I had been honest with my first husband about the distance in our marriage, I could have either healed it or ended it cleanly. Instead, I let the new attention substitute for the difficult conversation. The cost to my children, my friends, my own integrity was enormous. I told her, "Patricia, the Jupiter return year amplifies what is true in you. You were unhappy in the first marriage. Jupiter did not create the unhappiness, but the magnetism made it easier to bypass the work of honesty in favor of the dopamine of new attention. The Leos who do not do the honest work during their Jupiter return often emerge with partners they could have had without damaging others. By being honest first, ending what needed to end, then moving forward cleanly. My dear Leo, please hear this. Over the next 13 months, your magnetism increases. People will respond to you. New attention will appear. The discipline of the Jupiter return year is to use the magnetism in service of honesty, not in substitution for honesty. If you are partnered and unhappy, the right work is to be honest with your partner about the unhappiness, not to let new attention flatter you into an exit. If you are partnered and happy, the right work is to channel your increased magnetism toward your partner, letting them see the renewed you. If you are single, the right work is to choose carefully, recognizing that not everyone responding to your magnetism is the right partner. The Pluto transit in your 7th house is the universe's 20-year demand that you do partnership honestly. The Jupiter return year is the universe's gift of magnetism with which to do that honest work. Use both together. Let me walk you through each love area now, briefly. Single Leos, the dominant love story of the Jupiter return year. The August 12th eclipse will be the major partner arrival window. The combination of Pluto in your 7th house and Jupiter in your 1st house creates the conditions for a generational love arrival. The partner who arrives may transform your sense of partnership for 20 years. Choose carefully. The Leo who runs into the first available partnership often misses the one the universe is actually arranging. Long-term partnered Leos. The dominant work is honesty within the existing partnership. The Pluto transit is asking you to renegotiate the marriage from a foundation of honesty about how both of you have changed. The Jupiter return year provides the energy and magnetism for that conversation. Use it well. Married Leos in unhappy marriages. The Pluto transit will not let the unhappy marriage continue without intervention over the next 20 years. The honest work is to either repair or end, not to drift, not to use external attention as a substitute, not to wait passively for the marriage to fix itself. Recently divorced or separated Leos. The Jupiter return year is your magnetism rebuild. Use the early months for personal restoration. The August 12th eclipse and the months following may bring meaningful new partnership. Polyamorous or non-traditional partnered Leos. The Pluto transit is restructuring your partnership constellation. Be honest with everyone involved. The Uranus transit in your 11th house may also bring sudden shifts in the structure. same-sex, queer, or LGBTQ plus Leos. The Uranus transit in your 11th house particularly affects how community and chosen family interact with your love life. Long-distance or international partnership. The Saturn-Neptune transit in your 9th house and the Chiron entry to your 10th house both affect long-distance and international love this year. Difficult clarity may come about whether to close distance, separate, or accept the structure. Romance with someone significantly older or younger. The Saturn-Neptune in your 9th house and the Pluto in your 7th house both affect generational difference love. Examine carefully what each of you brings and what each of you may carry that does not belong in the present partnership. Now, my darling, take out your journal and your favorite pen. I want to give you a ritual you can do on June 29th, the night your Jupiter return begins. This is your Magnetism-and-Honesty alignment ritual. Jupiter enters Leo at 10:51 in the evening Pacific Time on June 29th, 1:51 in the morning Eastern Time on June 30th, 6:51 in the morning London Time on June 30th, and 7:51 in the morning Central European Time on June 30th. Do the ritual at the moment Jupiter crosses into Leo or as soon as you can afterward. Find a beautiful sensory space. Leo rituals can be lavish, make it so. Bedroom is good. A space with a mirror is best. Light a single deep red candle and a single gold candle. Red for love, gold for Leo, Jupiter, and the Sun. Place a piece of garnet, ruby, or citrine beside them. Your love and magnetism stones. Burn rose oil, frankincense, or sandalwood. Your sensory sense. If you do not have these, any rich candle and any warm scent will work. Stand in front of a mirror, fully or partially undressed. Whichever feels safe, look at yourself. Slowly. Take 7 breaths. Then, say out loud 3 times, I welcome the year of magnetism. I welcome being loved as I actually am, not as the performance of me. I welcome the partner the universe is preparing. 3 times, slowly. Look yourself in the eyes when you say it. Sit. Open your journal. Write the date. Then write the answers to these 5 questions. Slowly, with the honesty Leo can manage when no one is watching. Only the mirror. Question 1. What version of myself have I been performing in love that has prevented my partners, past or current, from seeing who I actually am underneath? Question 2. What difficult honesty in my current love life, about a marriage, a dating pattern, a relationship I have been postponing addressing, am I willing to begin in the next 13 months? Question 3. What kind of partner do I actually want now, in the version of myself I have become, separate from what I wanted at 20 or 30? Be specific. Question 4. What about my own ego, pride, or generosity as control patterns? Am I willing to let the Pluto transit dismantle so that I can do partnership from a more honest place over the next 20 years? Question 5. When Jupiter leaves my sign in July of 2027, what does my love life look like? What partnership am I in or moving toward? What version of me is being loved? Sit with each answer. Do not edit. Then place both hands on your heart and say 3 times, slowly, I am the radiant one. I am also the doubting one. I am ready to be loved fully. Radiance and shadow together, 3 times. Let both candles burn down. The magnetism year has officially begun. Let me speak briefly about rising signs and love implications. If your rising is also Leo, the Jupiter return hits both your sun and your rising. The most personally magnetic Jupiter return possible. The August 12th eclipse will be directly on your ascendant. The most love-defining personal eclipse possible. If your rising is Virgo, Jupiter is in your 11th house, then moves to your 12th. Community love into soulmate territory. If your rising is Libra, Jupiter is in your 10th house, then moves to your 11th. Career love into friend love. If your rising is Scorpio, Jupiter is in your 9th house, then moves to your 10th. Meaning love into career love. If your rising is Sagittarius, Jupiter is in your 8th house, then moves to your 9th. Intimacy into meaning love. If your rising is Capricorn, Jupiter is in your 7th house, then moves to your 8th. Partnership into deep intimacy. If your rising is Aquarius, Jupiter is in your 6th house, then moves to your 7th. Daily life partnership into defined commitment. If your rising is Pisces, Saturn-Neptune left your sign, relief, love renewal. If your rising is Aries, Saturn-Neptune are in your sign. Partnership through identity reconstruction. If your rising is Taurus, Chiron enters your sign. Physical worth healing affecting love. If your rising is Gemini, Uranus in your sign. Personal rebrand affecting love. If your rising is Cancer, Jupiter has just left your sign. Post-Jupiter return love integration. If your Venus is in Leo, the Jupiter return hits both your Sun and your Venus. Venus year extraordinaire. The August 12th eclipse will be on your Venus. If your Venus is in Cancer, Venus on your Venus on June 9th, your luckiest soul-level love day. If your Venus is in Gemini, the new moon on June 14th lands on your Venus. Friendship love activation. If your Venus is in Aquarius, the Pluto transit in your Venus sign continues deep partnership transformation. Compatibility. The 3 signs most aligned with you in love this month are Aries, Sagittarius, Aquarius, and Cancer. Aries because the fire sign trine and Saturn-Neptune in Aries in your 9th house. Aries partners bring meaning and intensity. Sagittarius because the fire trine and the full moon on June 1st in Sagittarius. Sagittarius partners bring philosophical compatibility. Aquarius because Pluto in your opposite sign. The partners who arrive in the next 20 years through Pluto are often Aquarian-flavored, sometimes even Aquarius sun, moon, or rising. Cancer because Jupiter has just left Cancer. Cancer partners and Cancer-flavored love connections from the past year are coming to closure or culmination. Be careful with Taurus, where Chiron now lives in your 10th house. Taurus authority figures or career-related love connections may surface old wounds. Be patient with Scorpio, where Pluto's square continues to affect home and family. Scorpio partners or family members may bring tension. And be diplomatic with Capricorn, where the full moon on June 30th activates your daily life sector. Capricorn coworkers or daily life partners may surface practical love tensions. The sign that will surprise you, my dear Leo. Gemini. Uranus is now in Gemini in your 11th house. A Gemini will appear in your friendship, becoming love's sphere as a sudden, magnetic, unexpected connection. Possibly through online platforms, possibly through a friend, possibly someone who was peripheral in your life until they were suddenly central. Trust the Gemini, but use the Pluto discernment. My dear Leo, before I let you go, 3 small things I want to say. 1. If any part of this video has brought you clarity about your love life, even one date, even one sentence, tap that like button. It is the simplest way to tell YouTube to bring this work to more Leo souls who have been quietly aware that something has to change in their partnerships. Your like helps them find this video. 2. Subscribe and turn on the bell. Next month's love video will cover the Mercury retrograde day by day for your relationships and the first month of Jupiter in your sign for partnership and magnetism. And August will cover the eclipse on Jupiter love forecast. Possibly the most love-defining day of your decade. You absolutely cannot miss the love preparation series. 3. Write to me in the comments. My question for you tonight is this. What version of yourself have you been performing in love that has prevented your partners, past or current, from seeing who you actually are underneath? Just one sentence. Other Leos in this comment section are reading these words and recognizing themselves. We are building a community here, and you are part of it. I read every single comment, truly. And one more small thing. If you know another Leo who has been quietly aware that something has to change in her love life, share this video with her. You may not realize how much one share matters. It is how this work finds the Leo who need it. Thank you, my darling. This community is becoming something I never expected. And you are part of it. June 1st, June 9th, June 14th, June 19th, June 29th. Write the dates down. The stars are with you. Pluto is in your partnership house for 20 years, doing the generational restructuring. The Jupiter return begins on June 29th, your most magnetic year in 12. Saturn-Neptune is in your 9th house, restructuring how meaning and worldview integrate with love. Uranus is in your 11th house, opening unexpected love through friendship and community channels for 7 years. Chiron is entering your 10th house, healing career partnership wounds for 7 years. And the August 12th eclipse on Jupiter in your sign is 6 weeks away. Possibly the most magnetic day of your decade for love. The structural pieces are aligning at every level. Walk into the year ahead with honesty, with magnetism, with discernment. The Leos, who do this work consciously in June, arrive at the eclipse with their hearts open and their patterns honest. The ones who keep performing arrive at year's end visible, but not truly known. You have earned being known. Walk toward it. I am Madame Aurora from Manhattan, and I love you, my dear Leo. I will see you in July for the Mercury retrograde love forecast.